Okay, everybody knows who that is. Oh, I'm wearing a King Ludwig's hat. Sorry, it's King Ludwig. Yes, a cat in the hat. You all know it's like Dr. Seuss. It reminds me of my friend Dr. Hypno. You ever heard of Dr. Hypno? Dr. Hypno, he's a hypnotist. What's that got to do with Cat in the Hat? Um, I'm going to talk to you about hypnotism. It's called mesmerism. It's Anton Mesmer was an expert, an early person who learned how to hypnotize people, mesmerize people. Anton Mesmer. If you're hypnotized, what happened to you? Well, you can do things when you're hypnotized that you wouldn't normally do in your normal everyday personality. Sometimes on a stage hypnotist, they get someone from audience and they get them hypnotized, and then they go quack, quack, quack like a duck. Or they do post-hypnotic suggestion. So while they're hypnotized, they say, later on when you go back to your seat, after I finish waking you up, 5 minutes later, you're going to stand up and you're going to go quack, quack, quack. So then what happened? Okay, so they go count 1, 2, 3. Okay, you wake up and they look like they're out of hypnosis. They go sit down. 5 minutes later, person jump up and they go quack, 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 quack. Post-hypnotic suggestion. What does it mean? Well, this guy be Anton Mesmer, the hypnotist. This guy be like, ha ha ha, I know how to hypnotize you. Ha ha ha. You don't know how good a hypnotist I am. I just made you quack, quack, quack. But maybe I do other post-hypnotic suggestions. And sometimes the stage hypnotist guy will he'll whisper in someone's ear when they're on stage and they're hypnotized. He'll whisper. So you, the audience, don't know what the post-hypnotic suggestion is. What's that got to do with me? Well, how are you also hypnotized? Hypnosis, you can put people into hypnosis different kinds of ways. It doesn't have to be a stage hypnotist. If you go to YouTube, there's certain, they're like frequencies that you can play in your ears to bring you into like I'm not sure which one is hypnotic, but it might be like the theta state of your brain, or it might be theta, I'm not sure. But if you go into theta, it basically puts you into a hypnotic trance. And the benefit of this is you can hypnotize yourself. And some people say if you hypnotize yourself and then you listen to a tape of your professor's lecture, you can get the professor's lecture into your head, and it's really easy way for you to get great marks on your exams. So that's why people auto-hypnotize themselves. Quitting smoking, have you heard of that? You go see a hypnotist and they help you quit smoking by hypnotizing you into not wanting cigarettes anymore. There's other ways to help you quit smoking. There's one way that is like something to do with moving your eyes back and forth. Somebody's got this technique of moving your eyes back and forth and telling you you don't want cigarettes or you don't want gambling. I knew somebody who was a compulsive gambler, and they went to see one of these people. Move your eyes like this. And they were told, you don't need to gamble anymore. And they stopped gambling for a long time. But something happened. And this person who knew they had a gambling problem went to get help about it, and it stopped gambling. Something happened, and all of a sudden, they were back at the casino. They would spend like 8 hours a day, every day, gambling, and they were losing so much money. Um, they they blew through their entire savings. They just blew through it. This person was 65 years old, a university professor. You wouldn't expect somebody like this. Oh yeah, he would sit there and he would drink scotch and he'd play cards all day, and he'd lose, 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 and keep coming back. He was compulsive, and he blew his life savings. At one point, he realized that it was a problem, and if you tell the casino that I'm a compulsive gambler, please don't let me in. I think that's what he ended up doing after he blew so much money. I think his wife made him do it. But what's it got to do with hypnosis? Um, it just shows you that you're not in control of your mind, and your mind can be controlled by others. A hypnotist, or someone who is secretly brainwashing you. Experts. Who's expert at brainwashing you? The advertising industry is expert at brainwashing you. There's your advertising guy. They spend a fortune on advertising. Well, the advertising company, but they get the money from companies that want you to buy things. So big pharmaceutical companies spend a fortune on advertising, especially at the 6 o'clock news. Car companies, anybody you see on TV, some shyster lawyers, they're really good at grabbing your attention. Now, there's one guy, his name is Joe Vitale, and he calls one of his books Hypnotic Marketing. So that's how marketers do what they do. They hypnotize you into wanting a product that you don't really want. Sex sells. So, whenever they have the Detroit Auto Show and they got a new car there, they always put a sexy woman next to it to link sexiness to the car. It helps sales. They've studied this. I mean, you can go to business school and take courses in advertising, and they don't even touch what the experts know. They've been advertising way back to P.T. Barnum, Barnum and Bailey Circus. He was a master marketer way back in the 1800s. So there is long history of studying how to get people hypnotized into doing things that they wouldn't normally do, buying things that they don't need. People, it's like impulse items. You're at the store counter and right there's an impulse item there. You don't really want that package of Tic Tacs, but it's there and it's an impulse item. It's pretty cheap. And or the good one is you go into the Circle K. You go into the Circle K and you just wanted to get a coffee and a paper, and you go up there, and then the guy, before you finish your transaction, he says, "Oh, it's a $5 million lottery tonight. You want a ticket?" Or he says, "We got a deal on today. 3 chocolate bars for the price of 2. You want it?" Or you go into the Best Buy. If you're not in North America, Best Buy is a place where you can buy all kinds of electronics and fridges and stoves. So if you go into Best Buy and you just wanted like a small television set because you live in an apartment and you don't have a lot of room for a great, huge amphitheater size. They used to call them a jumbotron, something for the size of a baseball stadium. You don't want that. You want something small because you're in a small apartment. But you go in there, and the Best Buy salesperson is very good at upselling you. You come in there, you found the one you want, and then they come in and they say, well, this one is like it's last year's model, and they're changing the technology, and pretty much this one is it's pretty much obsolete. And for only $150 more, you can get this one. It's this year's model. It's got the newer technology. It's got a blacker black screen and a brighter bright on the brights. It's got better sound, and it's actually a little bit bigger. But if you want to spend $250, I can give you this huge one. Could you imagine watching the Super Bowl on this huge one? Having all your friends over, you're going to have beer, you're going to have wings, nachos. I mean, you're going to be able to see the football better on this big screen. And it's only $250. And we got a payment program. So, we're going to spread your payments over the next year. And you know how much more it's going to cost you? It's going to cost you, I don't know, do the math. I don't know. What is it going to be? Over a year, it's going to be like $20 a month more. And you can have this, you can afford $20 a month, can't you? This is how they do it. Whether it's cars, it's TVs, it's houses. Houses, oh yeah, yeah. What they do is they say, well, when you go to a realtor first says, are you pre-authorized for a mortgage? And if you say, what? The realtor says, before I'm going to do anything with you, sir or madame, go to your bank and get pre-authorized for a mortgage. Why? Well, then we know how much money you can afford to spend. In other words, there's no use me wasting my time taking you to a bunch of houses that you can't afford. You get all excited about wanting this house, and then you go to the bank and they say, you can't have it. And you're wasting my time, and I'm a busy person. So just do me a favor. Go down to your bank, get pre-authorized. They'll do all your financing numbers based upon how much money you're pulling in and what your credit score is. And then once you've got that, just bring me the paper from the bank, and then I'll know how much money you can afford to spend. Oh, how much down payment do you have? So cash money that you can spend plus how much the bank is going to give you, that's basically going to tell us the top end of how much money you're going to spend. It's very smart for the realtor. And for you, it stops you from, but what happens is that's your max. That's a max, and that's where the realtor is going to bring you. Now, when you have a maximum mortgage, and it's maybe in some places it could be even like a 25-year mortgage, it means that you've signed up for 25 years to buy something where you're making maximum expenditure, which means that you don't have money for maybe going on a trip or an emergency fund or a college fund. The realtor just wants his commission, and in a lot of places it's like a 7% commission on the first 100,000 and 3% on the balance. Or that's what it was when I was a realtor 25 years ago. It could be different now. Maybe it's 7% on the first 250,000. I don't know. But the realtor works for the commission. So the more money you spend, the bigger his commission is. So it's the same as the Best Buy salesperson. They're working on a commission. Oh, they might tell you, we're paid a salary, we don't get a commission. They're lying. They'll tell you anything to get you to spend more money. The car salesperson, commission. So especially used cars. I was a car salesman too, just so you know. That's me. If I had my druthers, which means my preference, I'd sell you a used car because I make way more commission on a used car than a new car. Sometimes a new car that takes me the exact same amount of time of work, I might make $150 on a new car. Or for the same amount of work, I could be making like $5,000 on a used car. So that's how it goes.